So this was very unexpected. I started this script maybe like 2 months ago. It was right after I like literally started the movie right after the last movie that I watched, which was Alien 3. But because hated Alien Resurrection from 1997. I hate to say it, it's pretty fucking fun. So, I had the same experience with this film as I did with Batman v Superman. Um, it started off, I hated it, and at one point, something changed. I just fell in love with this fucking movie. And to be honest, Predator 2, as great as you are, Resurrection. So let me just start off with the script. Usually these take like 5 or 6 pages. This one took 13. Anyway, so here we are with 1997's Alien Resurrection, which is the first on the list I have never seen, so I can't say anything about it outside the fact that I have heard that it's bad. And now that I've finished watching the movie finally, I can say it's awful. It's worse than I could have expected. Not even a minute in, and we get the worst title sequence that's somehow more nauseating than the Doom scene in the last film with wavy ass film of goo. Like I say, when I write this script, I write it as I'm watching the film. So keep that in mind. I've seen the whole film, and yeah. So I write here. Okay, this cast is fucking great. So firstly, Sigourney Weaver is back somehow. Obviously she died, committed suicide. Anyway, um, we have Winona Ryder, who I absolutely love in a fuck ton of Tim Burton movies and Stranger Things. But the name that got me most excited to see was Brad fucking Dourif, who is mainly known as the voice of Chucky, who is one of my favorite horror characters alongside the Gremlins and Freddy Krueger. Okay, so the way they bring back Ripley is that they cloned her, which is such lazy writing in my opinion. Since even though her death was lame, it would have been passable if this didn't happen. Ripley has movie autism, so as someone who has autism, I'll report back if this is realistic autism or movie autism. Usually when I say movie autism, I mean like the because obviously autism is on a spectrum, but uh, a lot of times people put movie autism as either X-Men superpowers or like I can't do anything because spectrum. Which I only say that because of like real life experiences of people not understanding anything. At 10 minutes in, Brad Dourif tries to teach Ellen Ripley how to say fork. I'll give you one guess where the joke goes. A. There is no joke. B. Ella grabs the fork and stabs Brad in the eye. C. Ellen says fuck. Or D. This bit is dumb. The answer is C. Um, I wrote this down because it just surprised me that this movie was trying out comedy for the first time. Like this movie tries comedy, and it is just wait when I have that moment in the script where I change my mind. At 14 minutes in, we get introduced to the side characters who are somehow worse than the fuckers from the last movie, and they were convicted felons. Like, obviously, I wrote this when I was watching the movie, and characters kind of did grow on me. Unlike Discount Morpheus, we do not need to reiterate what he did. But yeah, the first time we get introduced to them, and we just get introduced to them, so we hate them. At 15 minutes in, we learn that bald guy McGee is as threatening as my left pinky because Winona Ryder broke his knife and he acts like a fucking 2-year-old. Obviously I can't show the whole clip, but I can show some pictures and maybe a little bit of a clip. Here you go. At 18 minutes, we learn whiskey comes in cubes in the future. But why? And I'll report back later if it has anything to do with anything. It doesn't. It never gets brought back up. It literally has nothing to do with anything, and it's such a stupid addition. At 21 minutes, we get to see what the facehugger eggs look like, and what the corporation is doing now. They are creating xenomorphs for some reason. Why though? Obviously I'm writing this as I say the movie. I have to reiterate that. I don't know why. But thing is, the plot is so weird. So they're not going with corporate greed this time. They're going with like human evolution. I don't know. I'll talk about it later. It gets really messy after a while. Right after that, we get the infamous basketball scene that teaches us the editing of this movie is trying too hard to be The Matrix. This was something that I noticed when I was watching it. Is when it's not trying to be a comedy, it's trying to be something else. There's a like I said, the editing is fucking something out of The Matrix, and the xenomorphs walk like fucking like velociraptors from Jurassic Park, and then there's the kitchen scene from Deep Blue Sea. Like it's all just like either comedy or ripoff. Also, I forgot to write this down, but the basketball shot Ripley does behind her head is real. So everyone's reaction in that scene is genuine, which is fucking cool as hell. At the end of that scene, we get to learn that Ripley clone has acid blood, which means Ripley Ellen McLaren is a xenomorph now. Yeah, this is gonna be one of those films. At 26 minutes in, we get to see the xenomorph for the first time, and why are they this slimy? Have they always been this slimy? I don't remember them being that slimy in any of the films. We also learn that Brad Dourif wants to fuck it. When I wrote this in the script, Brad Dourif is like kissing on the glass of the xenomorph next to it. And I wrote that as a joke. I genuinely wrote that as a joke. But later on, yeah, it's... I have to talk about that later. Also, we're still just on like page 4 of 13. Get ready for a whole video just reviewing this film. After that, Winona Ryder tries to kill Ripley. Instead, we get a bad acting and exposition about the whole end of Alien 3. Also, can I just mention that her death in the last film was a great end to her character? They didn't need to undo her death and make her a xenomorph. Obviously, I wrote this script in like multiple watchings because this movie was awful and painful, but like a couple days ago, as of recording this, I genuinely, like, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna power through, watch the whole fucking thing. I have like an hour left, and I watched the whole thing, and after a while, became one of my favorite films in the franchise, just for how stupid it is. At 34 minutes in, we get a scene of nonsensical violence and editing that wants to be The Matrix so fucking badly. Which, again, this is 2 moments that I can mention that they're just trying to be The Matrix. Then the Xenomorphs break out of jail by killing each other using the acid blood to escape. Which shows that they are smarter than they've ever been in the dumbest way possible. Um, then Brad Dourif dies, and I'm only mentioning this because of my love for Chucky. Again, I wrote this when I was watching the film, so I did not know that he survived, and let's not mention that yet. At 37 minutes, we see the Xenomorph pressing a pressure button to freeze a random soldier to death. This has officially become the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Cause the Xenomorphs always like kill people with like their mouths. Sure, they use their mouths to press the button, but like they eat people. Like that's always been the insinuated thing. No. They just had to like pull out a fucking I freeze this guy and then he falls apart and he's dead. 40 minutes in, the wheelchair guy, blasts some holes into a xenomorph, and the editing has become just flashing lights for no fucking reason. Which, I thought he was gonna die there, because obviously, xenomorph, acid blood, I mean, his ear was already, like, had some acid on it, and he's definitely lost some fucking, like, a lot of blood because of the fucking ear and the leg and whatever. Then this general guy dies soon after, and we learn that they are trying comedy now with the xenomorph chomping a hole in the back of his fucking skull, and then he reaches in and grabs a piece of brain before dying. Yes, this has become slapstick comedy, the fucking movie. Pisses me off. This is why this video took so long. This movie is awful, and I'm not even halfway through. I wrote that on page 5 out of 13. You're gonna see the reason for the fact that this is just gonna be this movie for this video. And now the Xenomorph walks like a fucking velociraptor from Jurassic Park. I genuinely, there was a couple scenes after this where I just decided, you know what, I enjoy this, but this movie, trust me, it gets worse. It gets so much fucking worse. At 49 minutes, Ripley joins the comedy club and rips out the tongue of that xenomorph and mentioning it as a souvenir. So, first of all, the fact that she ripped the tongue out, I would have thought that would have caused, like, acid blood, right? Or does that not count? Oh, wait, it does, because we saw xenomorphs killing each other and using the acid, like, literally, I don't know. It's so dumb. At the end of that scene, Wheelchair Man is completely fine. Great! His ear even healed back, which is amazing! At 50 minutes in, we get to know that we're heading to Earth, and I could not care less. Xenomorphs on Earth, I would have cared. I would have thought that would be cool as fuck if it wasn't the first movie after Ellen died. The main character. Anyway, at 54 minutes in, we finally get something nice. We see all the failed Ripley clones, and they look amazing. First, we see Baby Tail. I gave them nicknames, obviously, because I don't want to explain all of them. Then Sidemouth, Xenomorph Face, and then the long finger. Obviously, I put up pictures for you all to see. But, right after that, we see a Ripley clone that I'll let the picture speak for itself. Obviously, I'll fucking, censor a bunch of it because, yeah, interesting. 58 minutes in, we get a reveal that the company was behind this, which we've known This is the first fucking movie. Like this is my biggest problem with all of these films. They try to give you the same fucking plot twist for the first film. Like Alien was the only one that was successful at this because it was the first film. Second one, okay, maybe people haven't seen it. Third film, fourth film, fucking. Why is it always the company, and why do they have to reiterate it just to make us remind us at how important this company is? It fucking isn't. So we find the like people that had like the chest bursters and like the facehugger eggs, like all of that type of shit. We find one who's still alive, which means he's a throwaway character or another character that nobody cares about. And guess what? He's fucking both of them. Anyway, 2 minutes later, we learn he's a throwaway character, bringing nothing to the plot. Never fucking mind. He's gonna be Alien 3 Ripley. I wrote that because, if you guys remember, if you've seen Alien 3, Ripley has a chest burster throughout their entire film, and then chest burster at the end. So, basically, that's why I mentioned that. And this guy's the same. Why hasn't he had the chest burster yet? Is the chest burster just a fucking late bloomer? To, like, for, like, I don't know, a fucking week? An hour and 3 minutes in, we get a pretty decent chase sequence underwater in this kitchen area, showing that these fuckers can swim effectively. We did get, obviously, a bit of a hint that they could swim in Aliens, in the sewers, but not really, because, I don't know. But this one was really fun. It is a big ripoff of that movie, Deep Blue Sea. There's literally a scene that's just that. It's just, yeah, that's basically all I can say about that scene. It's pretty fucking good. As they're swimming up to the surface, the movie remembers that it's awful, adds a xenomorph pull trap. I wish I was making this up. They make, like, this fucking pull tarp that looks like, I don't know, it's like a spider web, but, like, it's, like, I had to, like, scratch through it before losing breath or whatever. Fuck this movie. Then a black guy, don't remember his name, becomes Django with a grenade launcher and blasts the facehugger eggs with a ricochet off a mirror, which is my third positive. This is the parts where I started to say, fuck it. This movie's great. But, like the Alien films before this one, this scene goes on for a bit too long. But events and scenery are changing, so I hate to say it, but I'm having a blast watching this. This is the moment where I just gave up and accepted my fate. Obviously, this is one of my biggest negatives over all of these Alien films. A little bit of Predator 2 is that most of the scenes drag on for way too fucking long and just needs to be cut, like, maybe 10 minutes before it ended. So my enjoyment was fucking. This is where enjoyment comes in with how bad this movie is. I wrote this right after I wrote that I was enjoying it. Like literally maybe like a minute or two later. Never fucking mind. Science man shot Winona Ryder and killed my enjoyment. I obviously wrote that it killed my enjoyment and he shot her because I didn't know if she was alive or not. Obviously, she seemed dead enough. But yeah, you know what? I'll give you this later. An hour and 10 minutes, we learn that the xenomorph can now shoot acid for no reason at all. I swear to God, they can spit acid, which would have been so helpful for the Queen in the end of Aliens, right? Like, didn't, like, the Queen need to stop them from, like, leaving the space area? Or, like, that moment when she's fighting Ripley in the fucking Avatar mech, and, like, she could have just spit in her face and she's dead now, and then we never had to get Alien 3 or this one. Um, Now, an hour and 13 minutes, Winona Ryder comes back completely fine. I didn't watch further before writing down the script, but how did she survive the blaster, and why did the xenomorph spare her? With the answer that she's an android, um, yeah, why? Um, so she's surviving the blaster is pretty obvious with the fact that she's an android, but we've seen the fact that the xenomorphs still kill androids. We saw that in Aliens, and also, oh, we saw that in Aliens actually. It was still Bishop that I'm talking about. Fuck, I'm an idiot. Uh, Now we have the government being the villain towards the androids who are working for the company who are the main fucking villains. Wow, this plot is so fucking dumb. The android that works for the company in the first film is a villain, but the android that works for the company in the second film is a good guy, and then the main guy that was the android for the second film, but is the real guy, which is kind of weird if you think about the fact that they've been in space for 50 years and he looks the same. Anyway, he's evil now, and now we have. So he is the company or works for the company, and he's evil. And then this time there's an android who has the company being a villain for the android. Like, I swear to God, this fucking movie makes me so happy and so angry at the same time over how bad it is. Oh yeah, this one was absolutely my favorite thing ever. An hour and 16 minutes, they bring back a classic must-have from Alien 3. Fucking Christianity. Why is there a cross there? We don't need Christianity if Alien. Why is it there? It has no purpose. So, I can't even read this without laughing. So, their plan. Now, hear me out. This is very genius. We've never heard of this, especially in the other three films. So, their plan to escape this situation. Hear me out. Is to blow up the space station and leave in like a shuttle. Does this sound familiar? Like how it was the plot of the ending of the first film, the ending of the second film where they blow up a fucking factory full of fucking xenomorphs and this queen. Can they genuinely not come up with a better ending? We still have like fucking 4 fucking pages left. Then throwaway character gets a fake out of him having a chestburster moment, but nope, is an unexplained fake out for no fucking reason. And yes, the entire time that after this happened, there's no explanation for what happened, or like he just kind of like had like this moment like a chestburster scene was gonna happen, but nope, we never get like anything. At an hour and 20 minutes in, Winona Ryder gives us more exposition of what we already fucking know. She came to kill Ripley because company bad, and if they are successful, company greed. That's the fucking plot of the movie. That's the plot of all these movies, and it pisses me off. You know what? I hate that I'm saying this, but this movie is such a dumpster fire that I've come around. This movie is a polished turd, meaning I genuinely like it. Here's the scene.
Kill you! Does that compute? Or do I have to draw you a schematic?
I fucking love this movie. It's the garbage that keeps giving. I love this movie so much. It's the fucking worst. At an hour and 22 minutes, Ripley gets fucking kidnapped by the Xenomorphs after we learn that the Queen is in pain. This is page 10 on my script, by the way. That literally is what I wrote, and that's how I knew that this was just gonna be this movie. And yes, I am dragging it on just to make sure that this is gonna be just this film. Because now I have added Alien Romulus, which I will see at the end of this fucking series, and is gonna be my motivation if it fucking kills me. But yeah, that is true. She did get kidnapped by the Xenomorphs, which, it looks amazing. Let's just say that. It looks haunting. It looks like something out of one of those horrible A24 films if they were made good. And yes, I am counting Midsommar, Hereditary, that trilogy that I've heard of. Fuck, what was it called? Like Maxine or something? I don't care. An hour and 25 minutes in, the movie decides to bring back Science Man McGee and make him take Winona Ryder as hostage for zero fucking reason. Obviously, I wrote this when I was watching the film, but let me tell you, the reason is dumber than I thought it would be. The reason is, he doesn't want anyone to escape unless the Xenomorphs come with. This movie is genius. I love this movie. Because the plot is thickening, throwaway character finally has his chest burster scene, and let me tell you, as of writing the script, I have a full fucking smile. Because, yeah. I'll get into that later. This movie gets so much dumber, trust me, it gets dumber. Apparently, having a chest burster scene makes you bulletproof and good at punching. I'm dead serious. This is the best time I've had watching a bad movie in years. Holy fucking shit, we get a chestburster POV in this shit. A fucking chestburster inside the stomach or the chest or whatever. We get to fucking see it. It's fucking awesome. An hour and 27 minutes, we get the reveal that Brad Dourif is still alive for some fucking reason. I don't want to read the rest of this fucking script. Can I just cancel this fucking series now? Because, you know how I said Brad Dourif wanted to fuck the Xenomorph? Now listen up closely. Apparently, the Queen has reproductive organs, and I'm pretty sure my joke was an actual prediction. So, obviously, that's what genuinely, like, just maybe just burst out laughing. I love this film so much. I really want to put it at amazing, but I can't put it at the same level as Aliens and Predator. But I sent Astrid, who is my beautiful partner, that part of the script about Brad Dourif and how my joke might have been true. And I'll throw up her reaction. Pause if you want to read. I obviously asked for her consent to fucking have that in the video. But yeah. Anyway, the pregnant queen's design is mixed for me. It looks fucking amazing. Outside of her weird hands, what the fuck is up with her hands? Why are they fucking zigzaggy? Like, legitimately, I'm just remembering these scenes and getting annoyed myself. You can hear it in my voice that I'm getting fucking annoyed, and this is genuine. Then the queen gives birth to this abomination that makes me uncomfortable. It has eyes. It's just a humanoid xenomorph, and it makes me want to cry. Then the newborn thing kills the queen for some reason. And not just some reason, no reason at all. And the way it does is just punching the fucking queen's jaw off for no fucking reason. So it goes up to Ripley. And it licks her face, telling us that she's its mother. Fuck this movie to hell. Then the creature randomly kills its biological father, aka Chucky, aka fucking Brad Dourif, who fucked the fucking xenomorph. But chopping a chunk off his head. Obviously, I can't show any of this, but just trust me, it is the most painfully bad scene I've seen in a fucking while. An hour and 34 minutes, the creature saves the characters by closing the hatch, meaning it's friendly? Again, I will really reiterate this later, because we're getting close to the end of this shit, and I cannot be happier that I'm done with recording this. You do not know how much I hated watching this film. I have lost my mind. At an hour and 37 minutes in, we get to see it in all its glory, and I want to cry. I don't know if I have to censor this, but I do, and for your like sanity. The movie ends with a big ship blowing up the US, and we see South America, and Ripley and Winona Ryder talk about whatever the fuck. And that's the movie. That's the fucking movie. It's fucking over. I can't tell you how much I wanted to give up just because of how bad it can be, but at one point, it all changed. This movie is garbage, but it really made my day when finishing it 2 months after starting it. Next up is AVP from 2004, motherfuckers. Let's fucking go!